It's funny is I remember always having a little bit of trouble with that Entourage character.
Nerd Reactor, roll out.
How's it going, Adam?
Hey, John, how are you?
Yeah. And so with this movie, The Exorcism, you're playing a director, and this is not the first time you've played a character that's in the industry, the entertainment industry, like in Entourage, you played a
Right,
producer.
right.
And so I
Good
don't know for
callback.
you,
I'd forgotten about that, but that's a good callback. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So I was wondering if there's like a favorite industry type character that you've played before, or if not, will there be like a certain type of characters? I want to do this in the future project.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's funny is I remember always having a little bit of trouble with that Entourage character. I remember really having to sort of like, as weird as it sounds, like though I've seen guys like that, I like it just wasn't a part of me at all. Like I didn't, it's like I didn't get it. I didn't get guys who acted like that.
Don't you dare answer that phone, Nick!
Hey! My life is falling apart! I haven't eaten in 10 hours, so get off my ass!
But for some reason, I totally understood this guy, which I don't know, maybe says something telling about me.
Set. Action.
But I mean, I've directed films, and so there is something about like really wanting to sort of get into, uh, you know, uh, really try to elicit, the most honest performance you possibly can from your actors. And of course, in the case of this character, he obviously takes this way too far. He's sort of performing like an open heart surgery in a way. And burying the guy fully raw. But I don't know, in terms of like a guy I'd like to play. I don't know. I feel like I kind of probably played every type of guy there is to play, but there's always, certainly, I don't know, an astronaut maybe.
And with this, because you're on a set, a horror film, and so you kind of get to see like, well, in the movie, something horrifying happening. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
say what,
Yeah.
but what was that like, just being on the set, and whether you ever get scared on a set, like ever in your life?
No, the only things I get scared of on sets are really people. People's personalities are scary. And sets can be incredibly tense, strange, otherworldly places, really. They're incredibly insulated. You have very little sense of time. You have very little sense of day or night. And there is something interesting about, making that the place where something dark and awful is happening because, it can kind of go either way with film sets. They can be this incredibly jovial, convivial, familial, communal, wonderful places, and they can be these incredibly cold, alienating, dissonant places. And I have definitely experienced both.
Yeah. And like, okay, for example, when you're mentioning like the different types of feelings for sets, because sometimes like in the movie you're watching it, like you would think like, oh, this set looks crazy. Like, let's say Saving Private Ryan, like a lot of explosion. And then this movie, Exorcism and all that. Does that ever translate like the craziness of that feeling like in the movie to the set? Or sometimes it's different, like, oh, this is really cool and calm and peaceful.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, maybe, but I've honestly found the craziest sets to be, ones that are, to be, trying to figure out, a simple scene of a few people acting in a room together, or the thing that you're most stressed out about, or most pressured, or the most hot-headed about, are are due to the fact that you have, so little money and so little time to shoot something. Saving Private Ryan was like a big old family affair. When I watch that movie, obviously it's a different experience for me than for other people. For me, that's like my summer vacation, that year. I was like, oh, after that scene, Steven let me go to Paris for the weekend. But then sometimes I'll watch something which is like a little tiny movie I did, and I think about all the blood and sweat that went into that particular scene.
Yeah, and with this movie, a lot of inspirations for The Exorcist and all that. I was wondering
Yeah.
if you have like a favorite like horror moment, and if not, like maybe in the future, because maybe you want to do like I wouldn't say like a parody, but something that really influences you a lot, like in like either the horror genre or any genres in the future.
I don't know. And I was thinking today a lot about this film Angel Heart, how it, film noir is pretty much my favorite, uh, or yeah, arguably my favorite genre of film, in terms of kind of our typical genres. And the way that Angel Heart kind of melds, the psychological and the spiritual, metaphysical, religious, with film noir, is kind of magic, I mean, I think the way he did it is the best. I mean, there's been a film I've wanted to make for a long time that I've thought a lot about, which I won't necessarily discuss, but it deals, well, I'll just say that it deals with it deals with doppelgangers, and that's always been a theme that has been interesting to me. Yeah.
All right, Ryan, how's it going?
It's good. How about you?
Good, good, yeah. And I just want to start off with just Ryan. You've been in a few horror films, and so this is like the latest one. And how does it feel like? Is this like the genre that you prefer, or is it something that just you gravitate towards, or it's just like others, which is like, oh, let's have Ryan in this one.
I love horror as a fan, but also like as a filmmaker. I think it's a really innovative genre, and it often, looks at people on like the fringes of society. It's one that is often, telling a story about one thing, but actually talking about something else, in a really effective way. I don't know why I always do it. Maybe I'm weird. I don't know. And there's something about me that like fits in with that like fringes of society thing really well. But I'm definitely drawn to it, but I think it's also drawn to me for some reason.
Tony, it's okay. You're okay, all right?
How did I get out of here?
And this one, you get to play opposite Russell Crowe, and I have to ask, like, you're just being able to act on the set with him. What was that like for you, just as an actor?
It was great. I think we have like a really natural chemistry. We're both Aries, so we're both really like strong-headed and really passionate. We both love movies, and we just wanted to make the best movie possible. But I think our chemistry really, really came to life, and we weren't afraid to, talk with each other and be honest with each other, and figure out where these characters were coming from, and get the best thing out of the scene. He works like a machine in a film, like he's a part of the machine that is filmmaking. And he's really collaborative, and it was fun to be a part of that.
So what's with the stage? Have you forgotten what kind of movie we're making?
I was saved once. Didn't believe that it could happen again.
And you also get to act opposite Chloe, and I was like, oh, Chloe's in this movie too. And so what was that like for you? Like, were you excited just with just not just with Chloe, but just with the cast, like with David Hyde Pierce, etc.
It was yeah, we had such a great cast in this movie. Chloe's amazing. She's genuinely one of the nicest people I've ever met. She's so sweet. She's so funny. She's just so charismatic. You're just like naturally drawn to her. And I felt really lucky to be able to work alongside her. David Hyde Pierce is also like one of my favorite people. He was such a joy. He's such a light, friendly person. He's obviously like hysterical. And he's such a pro, and he comes from the world of theater. And just to watch him work is really exciting. Sam Worthington was really nice. Adam Goldberg was also like obviously fantastic. Like it was really great to just be a part of such a cast of pros.
Oh yeah. And I don't know, because you've been doing just a lot of the scary projects. So I don't know if you ever get scared in real life, and whether there's like a moment it's like, oh, I don't want to be here on this set.
I mean, I don't believe I know I do believe in ghosts. I do. I've never experienced like a haunting or anything like that. But when people tell me their experiences of, the supernatural, I'm like, yeah, I totally believe you. Of course. Like, why would you lie about that? I'm really into like ghost TikTok, like ghost story TikTok. But that also scares me so bad I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, so there is the fear for you for that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
And with I want to talk about the I don't know if we can talk about the ending for this, but I'll try to be as vague as possible with just your character and just kind of just doing their own thing. So, what was that like for you? Like just reading that in the script and just having that feeling of I like the direction for this character.
I think the trajectory, I think the main relationship in the movie is the one of me and Russell, like the father and the daughter. I think that's what's driving the story, and I think they've been through this song and dance a million times of will he be there, will he not? Like she wants him to, but she's also resistant for him to be there. And I think there's a hope against hope throughout the movie, and I think by the end they're still trying to figure out the balance, but they start to get there. I think the hope is there that things are going to be better. That ending was actually reshot. We didn't shoot that with the original filming. But it was one I was really happy with, and it felt right.
So I guess I want to talk about just the because this is a horror movie. You've done horror movies before, like comedy slasher. And so what was it about this project where you're like, let's do like an exorcism movie?
Oh, me. Okay, well, I mean, let's do an exorcism movie. I mean, I don't think we didn't want to make an exorcism movie.
Yeah.
That was like, no, I don't love the subgenre. I like other subgenres. I don't want to make the same, how do you, and also why? There's no reason after The Exorcist, in my opinion, to ever touch that. So, okay, well, if we're going to do this, then let's do a meta movie. Let's deconstruct it. Let's make it about trauma and other issues and make it more of a family drama with some scares and just sort of wink at the genre in a way, and show the behind the scenes. I mean, to me, that's what interested us, because I just think that why even try to make an exorcism movie? You can't. It's been, I mean, to me, there's no point after The Exorcist. That's how much I love the original, not because I'm being biased. I just love that movie deeply. As a filmmaker, watching it, the craft of that film is just it just felt every time I'm spellbound after I finish watching it.
But at the end of the day, that movie is like still resonates, not just because it's technically masterful and they like literally invented like new types of camera cranes to like move through that house. Remember that shot of Kitty going up the stairs? Like, but the movie sticks to you because you feel those characters and their pain and the things that they're running from and the things that they're desperate to understand so deeply. And that's why that movie really, really resonates. It's not the spinning head and the barf and the cross masturbation. Yes, tens across the board, obviously, but they wouldn't have the same impact if you didn't care so deeply about the characters. And for us, regardless of what kind of horror language we're playing with and trying to rearrange. For us, we were like, okay, this is about this father and daughter, full stop, and not really anything else.
Oh yeah, and the film is very meta because you do have scenes that pays homage to The Exorcist, especially with the walking scene, the close up shot of the feet, and then the also the bed exorcist part, and also just like the dynamic of just the actors and the director. So what was that like in trying to capture like a behind the scenes of like what a director is like with the actors? Did you try to make it like kind of like your own experiences, or did you want to just make it like this is like a drama?
I think the drama aspect of it. I think that look, I don't want to sound special here, but because everyone goes through hell in making movies in Hollywood, especially if you're in the studio system. It's just a Herculean task to try to fight to make something original.
And have it look like the thing you originally conceived of by the time the whole thing is.
By the way, that's a fool's errand, I think, because that's very rare, right? Anyway, but I think that making projects, in our experience in the past, or in development of certain things, was a sort of process where you just feel like you're inside a horror movie because you cannot believe the stupidity of these executives. You're like, are they possessed? Where's their taste? Where's their sense of risk? Why are we, all of these kind of challenging experiences where I found myself feeling like I was in Repulsion, and I'm Catherine Deneuve walking through the hallway and like hands are coming for me and touching me. That's what it feels like going to like some certain studios, because it's horrifying when writers are not trusted and directors are not trusted to do it. And it's like, don't fuck with the material. Let us tell the story. That's why you hired us. And I think in some ways, so much of this movie is rooted in some weird way from those horrifying experiences of making stuff.